This is like take 120.
Oh yeah, like seriously. Welcome to episode 1 of Mums Across the Pond. We are already perspiring because we've had our little mic troubles or whatever.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! But we're holding it together. Now, Cara is out in LA. I am here in Windsor. Cara and I have been friends. We were trying to work out, is it 10 years ago we met or 20 years? We're going to hold on to 10 years just to make ourselves feel younger. Right. Cara moved to Los Angeles. Loads of things happened. We lost touch, but we like really clicked when we first met. Yeah. And when we reconnected, sort of maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, I can't remember exactly, we had loads of long Zoom calls and just, they were hilarious. We were like cooking.
We were laughing, we were crying, we were bloody honest. And you know that thing where you can't help but be honest with that person? And you'd rather not, but there are things you kind of think you should keep to yourself. And you know, you and I both come, I'm West Indian, you know.
Yeah, my family are Greek Cypriot. We're very honest people.
Very honest, but also we've got the dirty laundry syndrome, which means that we're very honest, but we also shouldn't have said that, or we shouldn't say that.
Yeah, the guilt. The guilt that comes with, like my mum's always like, never, keep your promise to yourself. But there's something quite wonderful about sharing online. And I know my mum's a big supporter of that in terms of by sharing your own story, you're helping other people. Yeah, so that's amazing. Now, Cara, today we're going to talk about something you are like, I mean, it's amazing. I was going to say you're a scientific miracle.
Okay. So we're talking about babies, fertility, conception, and I deliberately haven't thought about what I'm going to say or anything like that because
that's cool, and I can chat to you. Shall I explain?
No. What I'm saying this so that anybody listening or watching gets that they're getting you and me unadulterated. This isn't the on-message spin. This is the real deal, lowdown.
The real deal.
Yeah.
I know. I just wish the sound was a bit louder, but hopefully people can hear it okay, and we can.
Am I pretty quiet right now?
It's just like a medium quiet, so.
Oh boy, criminal.
So I don't know. Hopefully it'll be okay. What do you think? Should we just see how things go?
Let's see. And we're not exactly quiet shrinking violets. Like my voice, I'm like, whoa.
Exactly. So we should be. You're like me. Well, you told as a kid to quieten down and like not to be your true self. And I felt that I was this non-conformist in a way, that people were trying to squash all the personality out of me at school. And it was only when I went to sixth form that I was like, felt really celebrated for being the person that was open and I'm loud. What's wrong with being loud? I'm expressive, I'm articulate, I'm communicative, I'm emotive, and what I'm saying, like, why? And so I'm really conscious of my kids. I don't want them to be diminished. Yeah, of course, we don't want to be disruptive, but what happens when you try and change a child and you tell them that they're not good enough or that they need to completely change their personalities? They end up becoming disruptive because they feel rejected.
Disruptive at best.
Yeah.
Worse than being disruptive is actually starting to conform and spending a lifetime. I felt like sometimes in the Caribbean, I love the Caribbean, and that expression, when people go like this to you, they don't even say it, they go like this.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be normal, and part of being normal, I feel this way sometimes as a Caribbean girl, middle class girl in Caribbean. You're supposed to be reserved. Feelings are a little bit weakness. If you express yourself, if you have to say, hey, that hurt my feelings, or hey, I feel this way, or I'm really happy. Anything outside of neutral means you couldn't keep it in. That's
interesting. Is that born from? So this is something that's embedded culturally, that because I think with so the Greeks are very similar in that they're very sort of it's the worry of what the community would think.
Yes.
And a lot of the pressures come from the fact that they have this. In fact, something that I miss is this village that comes
Yeah.
with, you know, parenting that you would historically or whatever, or not even historically, like just generally a lot of Greeks live near each other or in the same house around the corner. And I miss that element of having that support, but also it's stifling at the same time, or it can be stifling because
no, absolutely.
It's a keeping up appearances.
Yeah. And when everybody, here's the thing about that. Like, so I'm Jamaican, but I was also living in Barbados before I went to Britain, right? Barbados is 253,000 people. Everybody does really know everybody's business. And so people do make, it's like a village in a sense. So people make that extra effort to act like they're fine. That extra effort to act like they don't really have feelings. Nothing bothered them. And I do think the British helped with that. I think that, you know, there is a sense, and so I see it in Nigerians, in Indians, in Caribbean people, and in Cypriots, Greek Cypriots, where you have this warmth and this fire, but you also have on top of that a layer of something through which nothing will come. You know, like in America, I feel someone will walk down the street and say, this is what's happening, this is how I feel. And they go through therapy, so they're able to express.
Yeah, and that's really important.
Right.
That's such it, because otherwise you become repressed and you feel you're not open, and then things eat you up, because actually if you talk about things you can process, you can heal. So I actually love the fact that I remember back in the day, most of my closest friends at uni were Americans, and I loved how open they were and how they were in therapy. And I feel like it's only now with, is it Generation Z we're at now, where like people that are in their 20s now and 18, when I talk to them, a lot of them have had therapy or are going to start therapy, and it's become quite normalized here. But it's taken a generation to get to where the US were a while ago. So I think that's, you know, that's, Oliver, can you shut the door? I can hear them. I don't know if you can hear them in the background. But I was going to say something that's really interesting, and it relates to therapy a little bit, is because it came up a bit with when I had therapy recently, was this thing. I'm going to be 40 in November.
Congratulations.
Yeah. How old are you, Cara, now? Can you say?
Girl, I just turned, and I'm like thinking, I was thinking about this yesterday, right? I was thinking, I always tell everyone how old I am. And then I was thinking, oh shoot, if I do that, does it mean that there's certain things I can't do? And then I said, I don't give a damn. Because here's what I thought to myself. If I can make a difference to one woman, and when I tell her my age, then I want to tell everyone my age. So on 23rd of August, I shouldn't really tell her my birthday though. Any hackers or scammers don't remember that.
No, they won't. I think they need more info.
Do they? Okay, well.
I don't know. I'm not an expert, but it's fine. But I've put my birthday on Twitter. I think you're fine.
You did? Okay, fine. Okay, so basically on the 23rd of August, I became 46. And it was really amazing.
And you look 36, if not 26.
Thank you. And you know, I'm sleep deprived.
And do you mind me asking, like, Botox, anything like that?
Listen, I'm trying to work out how to do eye makeup. I have never done any Botox. I've never done any cosmetic surgery. I literally...
Nor have I, because I shared something on TikTok, and a reader wasn't being rude at all. She was being really... She said, oh, have you had Botox? Have you had this? And I said, no, I've had nothing. I'm a wimp. You know, when I was forced to have this thyroid operation, I was literally forced, you know? I'm scared. I wish I wasn't so scared, but I'm scared. So, but you eat super healthily.
Well, so here's the thing. Actually, the answer to that is I also listen to my body. It's not, Rob eats super healthily. I eat what I want when I want. And as a result of that, so people ask me all the time, how are you slim? Especially people who knew me back in the day when I was plumper. Because I was slim, I guess. And then I gained 80 pounds. I got married. Together we had gained 80 pounds together, and it was, you know, we were eating that stodgy. We were particularly stodgy eating. I would eat bowls of pasta. I was eating scones and cakes and creams. Anyway, so
sounds fun, but not the healthiest.
No, but also here's the thing. I have been slim on Toblerone and popcorn. So it's not about, so it's not, what I mean by that is, it's not about.
Yeah, it's calories ultimately, isn't it? It's kind of.
I don't count calories, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, for me, what it's been, I'm just trying to help people understand, like.
No, I'm the same. I hate calorie counting. What I mean is you could just eat a couple of chocolate bars a day and stay slim. Like I know people that live on a few items and they probably eat like 800 calories a day of rubbish.
Okay, so I wasn't doing that though. What I'm saying is that it's really important because I think people are listening. So people ask me all the time about this. And what I'm saying is I don't count calories. I changed not so much what I ate, but how I ate and why I ate. And I can see, I was thinking about this even a few days ago, I can see the difference up here between plump me and slim me. And it's really interesting. Plump me had foods that were bad and guilt and was trying diets upon diets upon diet. Diets don't work, by the way. Diets literally, they're macro studies that show that diets don't work. There are reasons why they don't work. And so when I did the mindset stuff, and it's weird, slim people, naturally slim people, don't think that much about food. Now, about healthy food, do I eat more healthily now? Yes, because what I discovered was when I didn't turn up the nutrient density on some of my foods, I was getting tired. I was feeling ancient. I lacked vitality. I was like, ugh.
Because it's those empty carbs that are, because for instance, I've got polycystic ovaries and I know that it doesn't have to be like no carbs, but if I have a low carb diet, then that is actually medically good for my condition and insulin resistance. And it's, lots of studies have shown that it helps people with diabetes and things. Now that doesn't mean you can never have a treat or you can, but just, I think it's about finding what works for your body. But what you said about going from not being obsessed and not kind of demonizing anything and actually then it changes your life and it becomes sustainable. Because actually over lockdown, I did keto for a few weeks. I probably lost weight. I didn't find it particularly sustainable because it's so extreme. Dairy doesn't massively agree with me anyway, so it's like, it wasn't right for me. And as soon as I stopped it, I gained weight. So I lost water weight for 2 weeks. I do know other people that's worked with. For me, it didn't. I need a more balanced, low carb, but I still want to have some popped popcorn that I've popped myself. I still want to have a bit of, oats. I need to have more of a balanced diet, than just something extreme. So what's changed for you? Are you eating plant-based? Are you eating, how are you eating?
So this is really, really important because I know I get asked a lot, especially when people who have seen my before pictures. When I say before, I like that before because there was a before the before. You know what I mean? And
so can you tell everyone, so you went from a size, so before your marriage, okay, what size were you, UK wise and US?
I mean, what size was I? I mean,
an 8, UK 8, 6, 8?
8, 6. I mean, actually, it's hard for me to think in UK sizes right now.
Yeah, because it's US. But US, you were small. And then you put on 80 pounds, which, what's that? Is that like 6
I lived like that for a long time. I lived, and by the way, are we going to do this or are we going to do the baby stuff? Tell me, which one are we going to do?
I mean, we can talk about weight and we can do the baby talk the next time if you want. It's up to you.
I'm thinking your soul told you baby stuff, so let's come back to the weight. Let's just tease this. So what I'm saying is we will come back to this weight talk. But Vicky's soul brought up babies. And there's probably somebody watching this at home who's like, I don't know, some swearing.
Okay, we'll make the next episode about the weight.
Yes.
But what's really interesting, just to finish this bit off, is what I think the key thing that you said was the mindset that changed. Because I'm reading a book all about changing your mindset. It's written by psychologists, and it's about changing the years, unlearning the years of pressure and all, but not saying don't be healthy, don't change your lifestyle. It's not saying that, but it's saying to people that, I mean, there's a lot of people that will sabotage themselves before they even start the weight loss or changing their life. And it's a really interesting text, but we'll come to that another time. Let's talk.
Just something on that. It's a really important thing, because what I realized I had to do, and even some friends that I talked about it, that some friends.
I'm sorry for yawning. I tried to hide a few yawns. I slept for 3 hours because I had 2 children awake in the night. You know, when you're like, when is my baby going to sleep through? My kids are 7 and 10. Can somebody tell me, please?
Please.
Shut this door as well. 1 minute.
Okay, while you're getting up to shut the door, let me tell you that we're getting rid of the pacifier, and we've done stuff to the pacifier that meant that we were up all night, because it was just this heartbreaking thing for Aaliyah, man. You know, her comfort, 18 and a half months of breastfeeding, and then she was addicted to the pacifier, and now, okay, so what's say about that?
Let's go back to Bambino talk, okay?
Bambino talk, yeah.
Now, because we touched on your birthday. You, Cara, are like the most beautiful person inside and out. Like, honestly, like, if I don't chat to you for a week, I feel down. Like, and you know, when we had that week when we were both away, and I just really missed you. I was like, I know I said to Peter, and I feel like, and maybe this is a whole other show, to talk about sisterly relationships, because women get a lot of bad rap. And I even have women every day that say to me, or you know, very regularly, Vicki, you're so lucky, you've got amazing friends. I've been so burnt by women, and I've been burnt by women as well in Frenches. And but I am so lucky because I have a lot of very close female friends that are like, you know, the bedrock to everything. Women need women.
And who wish you well, who want
and vice versa. And we literally have each other's backs. And I can't live without my female friends.
That's right. And I feel that's why we made the podcast, because I feel as if, and that's why we're telling our intimate secrets to you watching. I really feel that, because I feel that way about you, Vicki. And I also think, like, would I put myself on the line if I didn't want something for you watching? You, Vicki, and then you watching, and then also me from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, I realize that's why I am willing to tell the truth to you.
Yeah, and I think it is so freeing to do that, and it helps other people. So let's go back to having a birthday recently.
Yeah.
You look amazing. You're healthy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, tell us about, like, when you had Aaliyah and, you know, that process, because I think I'll just contextualize this with, obviously, we get that there's some science out there that says after 40, it's harder to conceive, that there's greater risks of miscarriage. And we know the science is out there. But I also feel, and when I talk to some doctors, that they say to me, I don't know if they want, I won't mention their names, but off record, saying that some of this needs updating, that as evolution has gone on, women are having kids a lot later, that more things are possible. I do also think that because I already have kids, it's probably slightly different in terms of, you know, being able to achieve another pregnancy if I wanted to. I think the odds are in my favor a bit more. I think if you've already had babies. Tell us about your story. And
so I remember when I was 42, I remember even speaking to a doctor, not my doctors I ended up with, but a previous doctor. And I said, I'm really, you know, I'm just, I wanted to learn about everything, birth control, everything. And I remember her saying 42 is birth control. And it was fast, and she laughed and laughed and laughed. And it's only after giving birth to Aaliyah that I looked up, or when I was pregnant with Aaliyah, we were pregnant with Aaliyah, and we looked up the actual stats. And do you know, the doctor was right, apparently, according to those statistics.
Yeah.
42 is a more effective method of birth control, being 42, than actually condoms, etc. In terms of, right? And
were you trying, do you mind me asking, were you trying for a long time? No, not
at all. No.
Wow.
It was immediate. It was
like
immediate.
First cycle.
Yes. Right.
And were you taking vitamins? You'd lost your weight at this point?
Well, no, let's be fair. I lost my weight 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like 5 years ago.
No, but it's better. No, but it's better. The reason it's much better that it's 15 to 20 years ago, like probably 19 years ago, is because it's real and it's permanent. And so yes. I lost my weight 20 years ago, 15, 20, 19 years ago. Why am I trying to shave the years? But 20 years ago. And then I gave birth at 43. And then again, without dieting, I lost the weight again.
That's amazing. There are people, and I'm not saying this is an excuse, but I'm someone with polycystic ovaries. The doctors have told me it's twice as hard for me to lose weight as someone without it. So I have to work so hard. And, you know, I do put on weight quite easily.
Yes.
So it feels like an ongoing thing with me. But
I was in the same boat. What I mean by that is not PCOS, but if you had met me, you saw my pictures. So if you'd met me at my size 22 American, size 26 British, you would understand why I would also say to you that my family, even though I didn't have the official medical reason, it felt just as permanent and just as hopeless and just as, I'm just saying.
I think everybody has got, like, when I lost a lot of weight with my thyroid problems, when I had it removed because I couldn't eat very well. And it didn't suit me being I lost my face and my body. It didn't really suit me, to be honest. So I think you also have to be, I'm not overweight, but
Girl, you're a good-looking woman.
No, thank you. But it's what I'm saying is because I don't want people to watch think, oh, she's complaining. What I'm saying is that we've all got a weight and a body shape that feels right for us.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, as long as you're healthy, that's what matters. And it will be right, a different size for someone, over lockdown. Yeah, I've gone up a dress size and it's not a huge big deal, but I would like to feel more comfortable in my clothes.
Yes.
Someone asked me if I was pregnant the other day, because my tummy has got a pouch. It's not a huge pouch, but it's a pouch. Now, I think I've always had a mum tum because I had C-sections and that it's really tricky. But equally, I think that there is this pressure, and it comes a lot from social media and stuff, for people feel like they need to be slimmer. And, actually there's certain weights that are right for.
I absolutely agree with you. And I also feel that it's so cultural too.
Yes.
So, you're in you're in the West Indies, you're in Nigeria, you're in an African-American situation, culture-wise, weight-wise. What's good looking in one group? You've seen that whack video. Like the Caucasians want to be this thin. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the alarm's going off.
Where's the alarm? Okay. No, don't worry about this. I'm here with you. Don't worry. I'm here with you. So there's that. There's a cultural element. And the second thing is,
like, the Greek figure is traditionally small waist, big chest, big bottom. So it's hourglass. It doesn't mean that you're overweight. It's just the shape. And actually, that's my shape. It doesn't matter how slim I get, that's my shape. But that shape doesn't look great if it's too thin, like when I lost too much weight 2 years ago.
Right.
Whereas someone else, you've got to go with your body as well.
Totally.
But actually, this is why I have an issue with the BMI charts, because they are biased, they're racist, they're, let's face it, because they're not inclusive at all.
Right, and so I know that I have maybe potentially I'm West African origin. I have other things. I'm from the Caribbean, so you'll have the Chinese, Indian, and Caucasian as well. But I'm West African origin, so I have maybe denser bones.
Yeah, but that's not going to be taken into consideration with BMI charts, and that's why it has to change. Why is the default white Caucasian person who isn't going to have the same structure as other people? There needs to be diversity. There needs to be greater representation.
I got something controversial though. which is, I'm like, I want the diversity, and I want to walk out of a doctor's office, because don't forget, I have been much bigger. So I want to walk out of a doctor's office and not feel like a total heel, total schmuck, total, like, ugh. And there are enough people, you know, I don't know the exact age my grandmother, my mom's side, died, but I know it was in her 60s, and I know it was because of diabetes, and I know it was because of stroke, and I know my mom's aunt had a stroke at 40-something. I know.
Oh, wow, that's young. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, and my mom, by the way, is the healthiest person going, right? So, you know, thank goodness. But I'm saying to you that sometimes we may need somebody to be able to talk to us about our health and scare our behinds, so that we do something that makes us take action today. And I'm saying this for life-saving purposes. I'm saying this for being able to walk, not being, like I was somewhere recently driving in a particular neighborhood, and I saw what was clearly a man in a wheelchair in probably his late 30s being pushed by his mom.
Because he was overweight.
Well, no, he must have had a stroke on one side, you know, stroke.
Oh, that's so sad.
And I was like,
I think, there's an obesity crisis. And so much of that is because of people eating these empty carbs and fast food. And a lot of it's to do with poverty as well. And the fact that it's so much harder to cook with raw ingredients than, you know, you need an element of education. Some people don't even have a cooker, you know.
Right.
So
food desert. The price of broccoli.
Yeah.
If you visit the hood, the price of broccoli is more than Whole Foods.
Yeah.
The price of this.
That's really sad. So how are people, this is there needs to be like systematic change. It's not just like, hey guys, go and make something healthy. This is the whole, because if you're trying to cook for your family, you are going, you know, it's going to be easier to get the meals, the ready meals, and know that you can fill them than it is to cook things from scratch. And is that going to last? So I get it. There needs to be so much change. But as you're saying, we need to, some people, for their health, they need that wake up call to say, you know what, I need to make changes.
Two sides, wake up call and encouragement. And I'm only saying this because I remember I had to get to rock bottom, you know, so I didn't actually ever go on a diet. Like I said, I changed my mindset because diets didn't work. Diets don't work, and they didn't work for me. But I remember what I didn't tell.
So you don't limit things out of your diet now. If you want chocolate, you have chocolate. If you want,
I mean, now it's interesting because I realize the truth is I don't do well with milk. But when I got slim, so the answer to your question is, when I did my stuff and I got slim, not thinking about what I'm eating, like meaning not thinking about, oh, I'm actually lactose intolerant or whatever. Don't bring that up yet. I'm just saying I lost weight eating anything because it wasn't what I ate. It was how I ate and why I ate. And then the big thing for me was it's later on when I realized that I was getting certain health stuff. I was getting lack of energy stuff that I was like, you know what? I am getting hungry for some of these greens. I'm getting hungry for some of these beans and these other things because I want to feel different. So I was already slim.
Dolly, we were talking about the fact that Cara very, you know, luckily had a baby later on, sort of at 43. Yeah. Do you think there's lots of pros rather than cons to having a baby a bit later?
Just say that again.
Are there pros?
And in English.
Basically,
not British.
No. Are there pros? What are the pros and cons of having a baby later? Like we had Aaliyah so much later.
By that time, you've hopefully fertilized your brain enough to be able to handle it. Before that, I really can't talk. I wouldn't be allowed to, and if I did, who knows, I'd never get invited to dinner again.
So you mean,
Dolly, do you think women are wiser the older they are? So actually they can be better mums, basically.
Oh, of course. They have learned enough how to kick a man out of the house if necessary, how to keep him if that's necessary. It all depends upon the income.
On the income.
Woo!
I guess I really should keep my mouth shut.
Say it all. Tell it all. There are women, Dolly,
Yeah.
there are women who the only thing in this podcast that's going to push them along, nugget, is going to be you. Because you're going to tell it like it is and tell them things that we don't even know to tell them. Please tell them. Just tell them right there in the camera.
So you're just going to repeat me? Or you're going to add to the fertilization of their brains?
No. You're the one who's going to tell them. You're going to fertilize their brains. Tell them the truth.
We're going to impregnate the women that are watching.
Yes, they may be. And they may be forming an opinion right now. In which case, I get to win or lose.
Oh, yes, that's true. But you always win, Dolly. And the thing is, what I want to say to you is, tell them. So one, the older, if a mother is older right now, a woman is older and she hasn't had a baby yet,
Yes.
what's your advice? Should she go ahead and have one, or should she just forget about it?
It all depends on how much fun she has in making it.
Woo!
I like that, Dolly. That's good advice, because I think when people are trying to conceive, they lose the fun, and I get it, they're worried. But when you relax, then that's when the magic happens, right?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. And Dolly, because obviously I've been loose-lipped because I told that man your age yesterday.
Oh, that wasn't good.
That wasn't good. Okay, so Dolly, am I allowed to tell the thing about the flowers?
Well, I guess. Go ahead.
Dolly got these, a dozen beautiful dethorned flowers of the kind of quality that you and I, Vicki, I was literally I took one and I was like, oh my gosh, this one of them is just so beautiful. She got 12 dethorned,
Wow.
individually hand dethorned.
And I haven't said thank you yet.
You're playing mean. Hard to get. Hard to get.
And
I like that.
you know what he said, which was so it kind of was a wake-up call for me.
Yeah.
Because he said, I see Dolly every other day when she goes for her walk. She goes for a walk every day, but he only sees her not all the time. It's an accident, and they just happen to meet all the time. And
He's met you too. He can't make up his mind between us.
no, he can clearly make up his mind between us because he gave me the flowers to give you. So I think he made
Keeping it in the family.
I was the messenger.
Listen, if he gives me some dethorned roses, I'm joining in this party.
Dolly. The last thing he said to me was, "Remember, they're for Dolly." I must have been clutching them too tightly. I was besotted. I was like this.
Yes.
But no, he said something about Dolly, which I think is going to be it's really relevant for everyone. He said, when she leaves the house, when I see her, she dresses the way people used to dress to leave the house. He said the way she puts herself together, that level of beauty, you just don't see that.
It's natural.
It is. You just ooze glamour.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
And so Dolly has helped me because even today I'm in sports clothes, but Dolly will sometimes say to me something I can't hear from my own mother. My mom will tell me, stop wearing sports clothes all the time. I say,
I live in sports clothes because as a busy mum, if I'm on TV, I will dress up. If I'm doing a shoot, but if I'm not, day to day, I'm just in sports clothes. And the other thing is it makes me feel less guilty. I feel like the intention was there, intentional gym kit. So whether I work out or not, I feel kind of as if I have.
Yes,
just
exactly.
because I wore the outfit.
Yes. So back to this business of babies, because for us, we were very lucky. We had our baby immediately, right? And I can't help but thinking that
you didn't have to work at it.
What was that, Dolly?
Dolly said you didn't have to work at it. Aww.
Has Dolly only got one child? How many children have you got, Dolly?
I have 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Two boys and one girl.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
If there was a third sex, might have been more.
If there was a third
sex.
Oh, a third. Oh, because you think that your husband would have wanted a third.
I'm starting to lisp. I think I'm getting younger.
Oh.
One doesn't lisp at the age of, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So, yes, this man. So, I was, last night, I got a firm talking to because somehow Dolly's age came up during this flower discussion. And somewhere between me hogging the flowers, again, like Gollum, my flowers. They weren't mine. I knew that they weren't mine. But it came out. And Dolly, you said, I must not say your age.
I don't know why she's telling everybody. She isn't even asked, and she's telling everybody.
Oh, don't worry, Dolly. No one will remember. No one will remember. We won't mention it again.
Yeah. So if you ever heard me say a certain age for Dolly, it's a lie.
Right.
Yay. Well, Dolly, it's been lovely to chat to you today. We're going to sign off soon. I'm going to end this with a few real kind of key pieces of advice from Cara for people that are wanting to go for it with a baby, and then we're gonna sign off because it's getting late in the UK here. I know you're just starting your day over there, but I'm yawning over here.
Oh yes, and Vicki has two lovely boys and they're waiting outside the door.
Oh yeah, she's missing a girl, but everything can be remedied.
Did you hear that?
I can't hear.
Dolly said, so don't slap the messenger. Dolly said she's missing a girl, but everything can be remedied.
Oh, I love my little boys though. I would love another baby. I don't mind if it's a girl or a boy, but I would love another baby. My husband isn't sure, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if the manipulation will win out.
What's your advice for Vicki?
Is your husband not sure because he thinks somebody may be lacking and he's looking in the mirror too often? Or
no, I think he's just worried. He doesn't want to go back to the baby nappy times because we've obviously got a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
so,
I have 2 boys too, and they're 2 years apart. You waited longer, but I gambled. And
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I definitely feel now that I'm going to turn 40 in November that I'm starting to feel more broody because I'm like, okay, I need to get a move on.
Yeah, and anyway, if you decided to have another, you're not sure it would be a girl.
And I don't mind, honestly, genuinely, I don't mind. I love my little boys. They're adorable. They're sweet boys. But I just think that for me, there's that worry that as we're getting older, the chance of having a baby diminishes.
Right.
So it's a worry.
I think you ought to talk to this lady here.
Yeah, I'm going to get some tips now. I'm going to get some tips, and I'm just hoping my husband's not watching this and freaking out when it comes out. But thank you, Dolly, and we'll see you next week for the next installment.
Installment!
Woo! Ciao. Bye, Dolly. Bye-bye, darling. So, Cara, give us some tips.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll stand here actually. So
and then we'll wrap it up. So tell me, Cara.
I will.
You're just wanting to come in as well. Okay, with just 2 more minutes, Peter. So tell us, Cara.
So Dolly, I'm gonna stand there, and we've done you now. I'm gonna stand there, and I'm gonna tell her some stuff about babies. Older and babies.
Are you giving?
Thank you.
Are you trying to frighten her?
Oh,
because she may have forgotten.
Because she's forgotten how to. Yes, no, she's forgotten what they're like. Because yes, toddlers.
So,
she has forgotten. That's why she's thinking about doing it.
Oh my gosh! I love the way you two are talking about me, and I'm in the room, in the Zoom room.
No, we know. We know. We're just the worst.
Tell me,
okay.
Cara, obviously not just for me, but for anybody, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to convince Peter. Blah blah blah. But what are tips for people that are watching and listening?
Okay. So I'll put myself here so that you can see me and.
Take Leah for a walk.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Take Leah for a walk and just close the door, Dolly, because then we won't hear the. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Look, I'm yawning.
I know, right?
I have to go and sleep, 2 hours sleep. So tell me, Cara, let's wrap it up.
Okay, yes.
3 key things that people need to think about.
Okay, actually, instead of the 3 key things, let me just, even if I get 2 minutes or something, because I think there's gold that hasn't been told. There's 2 separate things. You look just like Oliver. Oh my gosh. Just now you look just like him. That's crazy.
Yeah, we do look a lot alike. People do. Is that my eldest or the youngest? Xander's the youngest.
No, Oliver.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me what Cara is the gold that hasn't been told that you just came up with that phrase.
So, first, before we talk about the older baby, maybe the sibling, the first thing is I didn't realize how much, and it's only now I reverse engineered what I did, and I'm like, oh shoot, your health really matters. The quality of your eggs is really determined by your health. And by health, I mean, first of all, a lot of it is what you eat. A lot of it are the toxins you expose yourself to. So for instance, I didn't realize this until I started looking at the studies now, more recently. I never cared about BPA and BPS and all that stuff, but little did I know that they contribute to miscarriages and birth defects, etc., that cause miscarriages. Like, so you got what you eat, you got the toxins you expose yourself to.
How do you reduce those toxins? Eat, like cooking in pans, not using a lot of plastic.
Right. So that's the thing. So for instance, when I started to look at this, I realized how much, this is actually more recently. So the first baby, I was kind of clueless. I was like, and it just fell into place. But I realized I'd already done a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Right. So your Tupperware does not need to be leaching this stuff into your food. If you eat a lot of fast food, what you may not realize is it's microwaved in cheap plastic. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's so much of that. I
mean, I heard recently there's a vitamin called, let me just Google it, and they give it to women that have polycystic ovaries, and they give it to women that are having IVF, and apparently improves your
DHEA.
Your quality, your egg quality. It takes 3 months to work. Yeah. It's called Inositol. And I got it from Holland and Barrett to help my PCOS. That was the thing. And I Googled it, and the more I read about it, it's meant to be really good. Apparently it takes 3 months for a new egg to kind of ripen and improve and all those things.
Right. And actually, that Inositol, it's interesting because it's also regulating your hormones and everything else. They really say, because I started researching it and everything, like when I was reverse engineering.
Are you broody now again?
Actually, right now, I'm not exactly broody. If a baby came, I would be delighted. It would be a gift. Yeah. And I'm not exactly broody right now. Like now, I'm looking, how can I build the second baby on my hip being something where I contribute to other people? How can I build something where I make a difference? I make a difference to Leah on one hip, and then people like me and you on the other hip, right? That's where I am right now. But I would absolutely, a baby is a blessing. So yes, you mentioned the Inositol. You mentioned there are other things too, DHEA. We don't have the time to go into it now, but what I didn't get was that the women in the know, they're taking supplements. They're eating in a certain way. They are avoiding certain toxins, and it makes a difference. Yeah. And they also say, you know, it might take 4 or 5 months for the beginning of the supplements you've been taking, the real supplements, to make a difference to egg quality. So you're looking at 4 or 5 months. But 3 months are great too, anything. But
that's really interesting. And I would say that I was reading a report about the fact that premature birth is down so radically because of lockdown. Yeah. And it shows how much stress can affect. I understand there are other things outside of that, but how stress can affect you when you're pregnant, when you're trying to conceive. When I speak to doctors, they were saying to me, stress is such a huge epidemic we don't realize how destructive it is. Everything from IBS to whatever, stress creates physical change in your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to start taking it seriously and realizing that it can stop you having a baby. It can stop you being healthy.
I shouldn't even have mentioned BPA. I should have mentioned stress before that. There's also
it's a big, what you've said is really important, but stress is such a huge, and I know people that are trying to conceive and they're so stressed out, and their body, because I suppose your body and mind has to be telling from an evolutionary perspective, it has to say,
it's safe.
Safe. Yeah, we said at the same time, you are safe. You're emotionally, physically safe for a baby. I mean, that doesn't say that. I mean, I suffered from trauma and things when my baby was born. So we're not saying if you've got mental illness, you're not going to conceive. I don't mean that, but generally you can understand why physically, and you need to be in a condition that is conducive to fertility.
Yes, absolutely.
So that you're ovulating, so that the luteinizing hormones coming out. I think it's how you say it.
And that's the thing, Vicki, I got to say to you, the reason I said, I should have mentioned stress first, is because it's the elephant in the room that we're swimming in this water. We don't even realize it's there. So there are women who are like, I'm eating perfectly. I've got no BPA. I'm stressed about my BPA. Blah, 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 blah.
Sorry to yawn. You are not boring me. I am tired on UK time. And you make me do evening shoots so that you've got morning. And I'm like, but no, 100%. So we've got vitamins. We've got stress reduction.
Yeah, all of that. So then we're going to go, you look so adorable. You really do look like one of your sons. It's so disturbing.
You were saying Oliver. Yeah, today
Oliver.
I do.
What I discovered was when you go in there and you're 45, suddenly they're showing you charts where there's like 2% chance of a live birth and this, that, and the next, and all these things they're saying. Yeah, and I was like, oh shoot, because I saw on these charts, I gave birth at 43. Nobody told me any of this. And I now remember looking back when I was with my previous doctor early on, and I remember saying something about, oh baby, we're asking questions, and she said, oh, if it sticks, it sticks. And I didn't understand what she meant. It was a very casual attitude. And I now understand that she must have known or thought that the miscarriage risk was high.
Yeah.
And I actually did have, at 6 weeks, I had 3 days of all this bleeding.
I was the same. I had really bad bleeding with Oliver, and I went and the doctor said you might be having a miscarriage. And I just went to bed.
Yeah.
I went to bed and I just waited and waited. And I couldn't believe when I went for so at 6 weeks, they checked, she said, I think I can see a heartbeat. I'm not sure. Come back a week later. So I came back 1 week later and we found the heartbeat. But I was convinced that was it.
That was it. Did you have the big liver clots too?
No, I don't think so. No, it was a lot of blood. I don't know if I had clots. No, I didn't have clots.
Oh, I have twins in my family anyway. So I could have had, because it was 3 days of bleeding and it was that. So
you could have had a miscarriage on a twin.
Yes. But I'm sorry you have had that experience. And for me, I thought it was completely over. And I remember saying that to Rob, and he was like, no, I believe in this baby. The baby is strong. And I thought, this is heartbreaking because this is not happening. I'm there in the bathroom. My point is that if you are older, and by older, I mean any age they start to tell you that it can't happen, there is an element of, sure, you will have to be quote unquote realistic. And yes, you have to listen to the science. But you also have to realize there's so many people in so many cultures having babies after 40. And, I remember one friend of mine in Britain, Leytonstone, massive, anyway, in Britain, and her mother had her at 49 and thought she was having the menopause.
Wow.
Right? And so my point is that by all means, go and see experts, but don't be disheartened. I remember when I was told, I was older, I was 45, they're telling me, just very discouraging things. and as if it would be completely impossible. And also, you don't want to mess up their figures. They don't say it like that, but you know, they're like, ooh, if you want to have a baby, you need a donor egg. Now, I'm not against donor eggs. Everyone do what they want to do. But the thing is that that's not where I was. And I found myself thinking, if they had met me before I'd had a Leah, would I even have the chance to have a Leah?
Yeah.
If I'd known more.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. And it's not to discredit, you know, experts or gynecologists or fertility experts, but ultimately, where there's a will, there's a way. And some people could be completely switched off and turned off and gone, okay, there's no hope. There is no hope. And this is when you hear those stories. I know people that, you know, even used, there's lots of people that even in the press and they've had surrogates and got pregnant themselves at the same time, or they've adopted, which is an amazing thing, and you're still a parent. So we're not saying this, but they've adopted and then they switched off the stress. They had, you know, and they conceived, you know, and then they got 2 kids, a miracle, amazing, beautiful. A miracle. So it's that thing of just, we're saying that, I mean, I know someone who was 47 that had a baby. Like, you don't have to lose hope at all.
You don't have to lose hope. And
you
also
have to be, what you said about realistic, but there's things you can do to improve chances. And, you know, it bodes well for me. Hopefully I've got time. But I think that's really important. So to wrap this up, eat well, limit stress, like exercise, yoga, having fun. Make it a fun thing as well. Like yes, you want to track your cycles and have an idea, because when you look at these rates of fertility and conception rates and things, they do say that the reason why it takes a long time, this is what I've read anyway, go ask your doctor. We're not doctors as well, but they said that a lot of the time is that people don't chart properly. They're not having conception in that 6-day window that gives you the best chance, or the 3 days before, or they're not looking at the signs, cervical mucus, all those kind of things. And it's important to give yourself a good chance as well.
Yeah, and also, I gotta say, I agree with you 100%. And we have to, I'm not trying to talk about like faith or something, but I'm saying to you, there's this part of us that just has to believe in something that makes it possible. If you believe, if it's something you really want, because in our case, we didn't even think about everything. And my cycles have been all over the place at that point. So I had an 18, I look back, someone asked me the question, what were your cycles like before Leah? And I was like, I don't know. So I went to look back. You know, when you have an app so that you can.
Yeah. I've got one of those. Yeah, because then I like to know when my period's coming.
Yeah.
And
so when you need to put pads in your bag, that's what I had the app. Yeah. And so I looked back and I found I'd had a 32-day period, then an 18-day period before.
Wow.
And so I realized I probably couldn't have been someone who would have charted, but I wasn't in that headspace to be fully charting or anything like that anyway. So, but my point is that I'm saying to you, even if you're quote unquote doing everything perfectly, everything we're saying, you have to let go. I believe you got to surrender. This is where you get what Vicki says, the stress going away. When you surrender, it's not all on you.
And I think, no, I get it. And I think what would be great is we'll do another episode where we'll talk about nutrition in pregnancy and all of those things. Because I know that you have shared a lot of brilliant things on food and eating well, and I think that would be so much interest. I just want to reiterate, we're not doctors, we're not medical professionals.
No.
We are not registered nutritionists, but we are just sharing our personal experiences here. So if you've got any concerns or you want more factual information rather than anecdotes and opinion, we have read, we've done research, but we're not, you know, we don't have the same expertise or experience as doctors. Yes, Oliver, I'm coming. So my kids are calling me. I'm going to have to go. Thank you so much, Cara. Guys, tune in next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.